By the time most of you watch or listen to this show, our first guest will have done something no other player in the history of Notre Dame women's basketball has ever done. Start her 98th consecutive game, a milestone Lindsay Allen will or did achieve on Thursday night at Georgia Tech. But Allen brings much more to the floor than just longevity and durability. She is Notre Dame's floor leader and leads the ACC in assists and assist-to-turnover ratio while averaging just under 9 points per game. Off the court, Lindsay is a management consulting major in the Mendoza College of Business and a participant in the Rosenthal Leadership Academy. We are pleased Lindsay has been able to carve out some time in her busy schedule to visit the Jack Swarbrick Show today.
Lindsay, thanks for being here. I feel like we should knock on wood or something. I mean, if you turn an ankle getting on the bus after that introduction, I'm going to feel like the show is to blame.
I was going to say, we got to clear the room and make sure, John, we got to move you at least for sure. It's a dangerous place in here. We got to get everything out of the way. But good to have you on here.
Glad to be here.
So it's a good place to start. I mean, the durability required, sort of everything you have to do to make it through a season and never miss a game. You know,
not gonna say 21 games was hard enough for this guy.
Had some of that's luck, I know, but a lot of it's got to be the way you approach it, the way you approach getting ready and preparing yourself. How do you do that?
Yeah, part of it, like you said, is just being fortunate and just being lucky and not having any kind of freakish injuries or things like that. And just part of it is just with the help of Ann, our athletic trainer, and Craig, our strength and conditioning coach, kind of just helping us and making sure we're recovering well after games and that we're stretching, we're foam rolling, we're getting the ice baths, and that we're watching our nutrition to make sure we're fueling our bodies correctly for games and for practices.
Part of that longevity is you came in here and you started right away, which to me is absolutely mind-boggling, especially at a place like Notre Dame. Mm-hmm. How did you come in here right off the bat and just seem to fit right into the flow and the scheme that Coach McGraw has, and you really just became a leader from the start?
I think I just gained the respect of the seniors that we had that year, and Kayla and Natalie and Ariel, and I think that they respected my game and they had confidence in me from the start, and that definitely helped me coming in as a freshman. A little bit nervous, not really knowing what to expect from that experience, but I was very fortunate to have them lead me during those years, and it's definitely helped me up to now.
Joe sort of alluded to it in his question, but you're not playing for any coach. You're playing for a coach who's pretty demanding when it comes to the point guard, right? She knows a little bit about it, and it's really the extension of her on the floor. So what's the relationship like between the point guard and Coach McGraw?
Our relationship is great. I think it's definitely helpful that she's played the position before and that she really knows what it takes to be a great point guard because she was one in her years. And I think that we're able to see things that other players on the team don't see, and we're able to kind of have that connection and able to kind of relate to each other more than any other player would.
You know, something that's crazy about playing at Notre Dame is you guys, a lot of the time you guys go out there and you're expected to win, and not only you're expected to win, you're expected to dominate. As a point guard and kind of being the leader on the floor, obviously a captain as well, how do you go into each one of these games with very worthy opponents and continue to dominate for the last 2 years you've been here?
I think coming in, you just have an established culture and established tradition of success, and I think that comes in with every single class that comes in, and coach really recruits to that kind of player that wants to be better and wants to kind of challenge themselves night in and night out. And the ACC is a great conference with many great teams, and so I think that we are very competitive with each other in practice, and that's kind of where it starts, and then it carries over into games and it carries over into different seasons. You
hit a little bit on culture there. How have you tried to input your own touch on the culture here at Notre Dame, and maybe little things you've tried to do over your last 2-3 years?
I think my main thing as a point guard is kind of being like a calming presence on the court and someone that we can rely on night in and night out to do my job. And so I try to work hard in practice, kind of set that example, but also be there to be that vocal leader and kind of challenge my teammates when I feel like we're not giving our best effort.
You have sort of, from my perspective, having watched you closely for 4 years, you have sort of a twin on the men's basketball team. You and Steve Vastoria, no facial expression during a game, no demonstration of emotion, but you're both just killers. And the bigger the game, the more you see that evident. Do you work hard to sort of keep that absolutely level demeanor when you're playing?
No, not really. I think it's just part of my personality. I think I've grown up that way. My parents are kind of the same way. We don't really get riled up by many things, and it's just kind of keeping that flat composure during the games and not getting too high, too low, because things change so quickly in every single game. And so I think it's important for us to kind of keep that same composure throughout the game.
But something else is going on underneath the surface, right? Because you are one heck of a competitor.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to kind of keep it all in, and I think that we have teammates who are very passionate and those who wear their hearts on their sleeves, and I think that's great because we definitely need both sides of the equation. But I feel like sometimes you kind of have to calm the team down a little bit and make sure we're still focusing in on what we need to do to get the job done.
Since you've came here as a freshman, obviously you started right away, but how have you felt your game's kind of developed from then to now, and really maybe some areas you feel like you want to work on, continue to work on in your development here?
I think just playing the college game, it's so much faster, so much quicker. So I think my conditioning's definitely gotten better, where I'm able to play extended minutes at a time and not really feel that tired. And that's a credit to our strength and conditioning coach, Craig. And I also think that just being around the team and kind of just learning the pace of the college game has definitely helped for sure. And I'm kind of picking my spots and knowing when to attack and when to kind of pull up for a jump shot. And so I think just continue to work on my jump shot, continue to work on my three-point shot, and attacking the basket and getting to the free throw line more.
You're the leader of the team, of course, in so many ways, but man, we got guards. There are a lot of guards and some really talented young guards.
Yep.
What have you done? Because they both contributed. Allie's hurt, but the other two, of course, making such big contributions to the team this year. How have you helped bring them into the program?
Yeah, they're two really talented guards, and I think they came in as high school All-Americans, and so they have that confidence and they have that talent, and they kind of have that trait where they're really hard on themselves, and so it's kind of just encouraging them more and instilling confidence in them when they mess up, because they're new to the college game, so they're not really sure of how the pace is going to go at times, and when's a good shot, when's a bad shot. So just kind of teaching them the ways and kind of instilling confidence in them when they get down on themselves is really key for them right now.
Now, the other end of the spectrum, you have responsibility for feeding one of the best post players in the country, a real force on this team.
Yeah.
How do you sort of approach the game from that perspective? Because you want to get her, you want to get Brianna involved.
Yeah, I think it's tough. We have so many talented players on this team, and anyone can have a career night any night. And so I think it's just kind of balancing what we're trying to do in that game and what our game plan is. If we need to go in the post, then that's what we're going to do. We're going to feed Bree. We're going to feed Kat. But I think if we need to kind of attack the basket more with our guards, and any guard is ready to do that, I think it's kind of balancing who has a high hand at the time.
What are you looking for out of this team between now and the tournament, really, or in the end of the ACC, I guess? In order to improve enough to be where you're comfortable playing the best basketball at the end of the year.
Yeah, I think we've grown so much as a team from the beginning of the season to how we have confidence in each other, and how our chemistry has gotten so much better since, just playing more games with each other. And I feel like we just need to kind of just approach it a little differently, and just kind of have that still consistent effort night in and night out, and making sure we're still focused on the little things and kind of just fine-tuning the little things.
One of the differences I see in this year's team is the defensive success. The last two opponents, for example, shot season lows against you. Mm-hmm. You guys are really able to dial that up. Has that been an area of focus for the team this year?
Yeah, it's always an area of focus for Coach. She expects the best out of us, and we try to give her that best effort every night. And so it definitely helps with having Bree in the post down there. She's really long, 6'3", long arms, can leap out of the building. And so whenever we might get beat off the dribble or anything like that, we have confidence in our back line to help us out, and just our rotation, which we've been working on in practice a lot. And so it's just us focusing on defense, and we've been challenged by Coach a lot in practice, and we responded really well.
I want to look back at the UConn game. Obviously, we're 19-1. We're having an incredible year. Mm-hmm. And I know you guys were without, a post presence in that game. Yeah. And really, what can you take away, although you will have another player back for the next time you see a team like that, what can you take away from that experience as a learning point for the rest of the year?
I think the main thing we took away from that is that we could compete with anyone in the country, and we saw that night. I don't think anyone was expecting us to get within 25 of that team, especially on their home court, and so we came out there and had fun, played loose. The pressure wasn't on us, it was on them, and so we found that the freshmen really came up huge for us, and they really played with a lot of confidence in that early game in December, and we kind of knew that if we give our best effort and just kind of fine-tune, make sure we're not turning the ball over as much, things like that, I think we could play with anyone in the country and ultimately win a national championship.
Now, in some ways, I'm sure it seems like a long time ago, and in others, like the blink of an eye. But as we approach a signing day in another sport, reflect back on me about making the decision to come to Notre Dame. So you're from Maryland.
Yep.
You had offers all over the country. What attracted you to this place?
I think the main thing that attracted me was just the combination of academics and athletics. I think that's really what I was really looking for in the school when I first was, being recruited by schools and kind of visiting. And then when I came to visit here and I met Coach McGraw, I met my former teammates from a few years ago, I kind of got that feeling that this was the right place to be. I was walking on campus one night and I kind of got that feeling, that feeling you get where this is the school for you and this is where you should go. I'm sure Joe understands. Yeah. But yeah, I just kind of got that feeling where, this is the perfect situation for me, and thankfully it was.
Joe came out of the womb with it. That's
Please,
the one difference.
Let me go to Notre Dame. Just let me hear. So talking a little bit about your Notre Dame experience, what's been, really some highlights of your 3 years here? Maybe some things you like to do off the court. Maybe in the classroom, a particular class, the Rosenthal Leadership Academy with me, obviously.
For a semester.
Yes. Speak about those highlights.
I think on the court, kind of on the court and off the court, just the opportunities I've gotten to travel to different places because of the Notre Dame's women's basketball team. The summer before my freshman year here, we got to go to London and Spain and Barcelona, Madrid, all those different places just because of basketball. So that was really cool. And we're always traveling for games to different states because of the ACC, because of our non-conference schedule. And then just the dorm experience that you get. I mean, you come here as a freshman, not really know what to expect. You're nervous. You're away from your family. And then you come here, and it's just a different, your second family. They welcome you with open arms. They're really nice, really kind, and they just want to see you succeed here. And that's probably the most important thing for me.
Well, we love when our teams get to go to exotic places and travel as part of their experience. But I'm hoping you just drive down Highway 31 in a couple of months to Indianapolis for the Final Four. Good luck the rest of the season. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you.
Good luck.
We'll be back in a minute.